Now to a story about the high price of living with a disability. The Queensland Competition Authority has launched an investigation into the cost of essential equipment for some of society's most vulnerable people. So far, it's found Queenslanders are paying twice as much for disability aids as people in the United States. Elise Worthington has the story.
For Tanya Dennis's son Jaden, even the most basic tasks take time. Jaden has a rare genetic disorder and he needs round-the-clock care. The costs to the family add up. It took more than 18 months to raise the money for a new wheelchair.
Our wheelchair costs $15,000. That in itself is probably a cost of a car.
There's concern that's unreasonable. The state government has ordered an investigation amid claims Queensland families are being slugged twice as much as people in the United States for essential disability aids.
Good eating.
There are indeed price disparities between the prices here in Queensland and in the US. The key question is why.
So wheelchair is $15,000, shower chair $5,000.
But the cost is more than just money. The wait for his latest chair left Jaden with more health problems.
Cool Stride, we actually paid $1,500 for that. If you're growing out of your chair and you're not seated properly, it causes the spine to deteriorate. When Jaden first got his older chair, his spine was at 22 degrees. At the end of it, his spine was at 45 degrees.
And there's no way of knowing how long this one will last.
No one can guarantee you that it will last for 5 years because it really depends on the child that outgrows the custom-designed chair. Hand lift. And
more than 1 in 20 Australians live with a severe disability. Many struggle to pay for the equipment they need to do simple everyday tasks.
Wee, show pop.
I think it makes them angry and they feel like they're getting ripped off. But there's a whole host of things that you have to remember, that when you are prescribing equipment for someone with complex needs, they need to have trials of the equipment, and that costs money.
The tricky thing in this analysis is to work out what are legitimate business costs, what are the characteristics of the market that's changing prices, and what might be other factors at work.
The country's largest investigation into the cost of disability aids has so far received dozens of submissions. One from a Sydney-based company argued wages in Australia are almost double those in the United States, and in-home trials and modifications are both expensive and time-consuming.
It is laughable to try to compare prices in Australia with prices on heavily discounted websites based in the USA, when none of these essential services are included.
Well, this is a classic example of what we would do to customise a chair. We've had someone in Rockhampton sit in a beanbag and the air is sucked out of the beanbag so we get the contours of their body.
Every part has to be perfectly moulded to the client. Many will spend all their waking hours in their chair. At the Cerebral Palsy League Modification Centre north of Brisbane, Mike Edwards takes his job seriously.
I have a passion for it, it's something I've been doing now for 25 years. So it's a really important job, and for me to get the job done correctly and see the client go home satisfied, that's my satisfaction, job satisfaction.
People with disabilities and their support groups have described it as a triumph and life-changing.
The NDIS should give families more control, but some are worried it could also drive prices up further.
And we'll see more people being eligible to get equipment. So I think it's important that we make sure that whatever we've got in place in terms of prices, that it's sustainable for everyone. Because if we've got more people accessing it, we could see prices increase, and that would make the scheme untenable in the long run.
Tanya Dennis says it's in everybody's interest to find a solution quickly.
A total of probably $90,000 worth of equipment in our little house, and it just seems to grow
At the moment, about 80% of the money being spent on disability equipment is coming from private sources. Only about a fifth of the money is out of government programs. So it's important to ensure that people who are dipping in their own pocket to pay for these products are getting good value for money.
And the Competition Authority is due to hand down its draft report by the end of this month.